Hey, how's everybody doing? It's Guild Superior coming at you live. It's the power of the internet or something like that. Welcome to Shadesong Season 2 here in 2023. Tonight's game is called Winter Thrice. And we'll continue the adventures of the Shadesong Saga that we started last year, only 10 years in the future. Much has happened since then, but we will take a look at all of that in due time. I want to thank you all for being here, watching us, whoever you are, wherever you are. I have with me tonight, as usual, for these things, a cornucopia of fantastic players. They're joining me here tonight, and I would like it very much if we can meet them right now. Hey, gang. How you doing? How's everybody doing?
Hi.
You hanging in there?
Super.
Yeah. Surviving the new year so far?
We are all here.
It is day 12.
We've made it this far. We should be proud of ourselves. Give yourselves a round of applause for surviving this long. 2023. Absolutely. All right. You've all been here before. You've all done some Shadesong before. You've all been on Guild Superior before. But so it's good to remind people of who you are, what you're doing, what's happening in your lives. So how about we start with Scoos? Tell us a little bit about yourself and then a little bit about your character, if you wish.
Yo, I am Scoozy. You can call me that or any derivation thereof. You can find me on Twitter at Scoos News. I'm excited to see what you find there because I haven't used Twitter in many years. But yeah, I am returning for season 2 of Shadesong. And I am super excited to see what happens this whole year, actually. Yeah. I'm playing Byron, which is going to be quite a good time. I got to make my own character this time, which is pretty great.
Nice. We'll find out a little bit more about these guys. Is there anything you want to share right now, or do you want to wait till we get into it?
I think I'll wait. He's a Titan, but we'll meet everybody, and I think that
sounds good. Is it true what they say? If you scoos, you lose.
No, we're all winners.
Nice.
Everybody named Scoos is a winner.
I like it. I'm into it. I'm into it a lot. Thanks for coming back for more. Always an immense pleasure to have you in the game, Scoos, even if you end up breaking them, because what's life without a little bit of chaos? That's what you bring. You on the Aquavit tonight?
I'm drinking some sherry.
Oh, poof! Look at you.
It's censored. This is a lot of very bad words. There.
Thank you so much. Next up, DM Dave, the Grand Maestro of all things.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Guild Superior. I'm Dave. Right. You all know me. I play games, produce games, and run games here with my friends. Today I get to play in Shadesong, which is fun because I haven't played in Shadesong since last year. It's been a whole year. So I'm glad to be back. Excited to see where this adventure takes us. I am also playing Jotun. I'm playing a Titan. I forgot who I'm playing. I'm playing a Titan tonight. He's an old, cranky, forgetful sort. So, I guess I'm going to lean into that. His name is Agos, and he is a magic user of sorts with terrible statistics. So I'm just going to have to deal with that for the next couple of games. I'm leaning in.
Leaning into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Ouch.
When life gives you lemons.
Squeeze them.
Squeeze them in your eye. Thanks so much, Dave, for joining us here again. Super appreciate you being in this, and I'm sure it'll be fine. Low stats or not, I'm sure you'll find a way to make it work, as only Grandmeisters like you know how to make it work. Thanks for being here. Next up, we have someone who just recently, a few days ago, had their awesome GM streaming debut, Beth.
Well, hi. Glad to be here. I'm very excited for this new segment of Shadesong with this group. Are you kidding? My goodness. I just DM'd the first half of a twofer for Monday Night Mayhem, so you can check it out. It uses the Humblewood system, which is super, super fun. Part 2 is coming up on Monday, so please be here for that. I'm playing a Jotunbern named 80s, and we'll see what she's all about soon. I'd like to know as well, so we'll learn together.
Awesome. It's the best way to learn. Sharing the experience. Sharing is caring. Speaking of fart noises on a computer. Hey, Shelly.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm great. That means nothing to anyone here, including myself. I don't know. What are you saying?
I don't know. What are you saying? How you doing? What's up? Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's happening? What's going on? What's cooking?
Oh, I'm just here playing a super cool game tonight, and I'm super excited about it. If you guys want to find me, I am on Twitter. Only recently, Bleak was my first follow. It's Real Flea Monkey. So go there. I do some, I draw monsters and leaves and doodles, and there's a link to go see what that's all about. And you can laugh at my weirdness if you like. Tonight I'm playing a Jotunbern named Gudrid. And she's kind of a lone wolf, but she will embrace the party. And since I rolled really well, I am assuming I may be supporting the party. No pressure. I know I'm not feeling any pressure. It's going to be great. We're going to live. It's going to be great.
Your character and Dave's character together make a whole character and a half.
Yep.
That's fair.
That's fair. Thank you so much, Shelly, for agreeing to come into this with us again. It's always a lot of fun playing with you. We'll jump into this here in just a moment. A couple of words first from our sponsors. Am I kidding? We're not sponsors. Couple of words first. Some shout outs. Some people that need to be thanked for everything they do to allow us to do this thing. First of all, I want to thank Andy, my producer. You don't see him, but you certainly feel him. He's like the Holy Ghost that way, hanging out behind the scenes and getting everything done and moving the things around, even when I forget to send him a link to something and at the last minute he needs it. That's why I like Andy. Reliable, all reliable. That's what I call Andy. Thank you so much, Andy. Big shout out also to Tabletop Audio, who provides all the music that we have here through their Patreon. Tons of awesome stuff. If you're running any sort of TTRPGs, streams, or just home game, and you're not using Tabletop Audio, you're doing yourself a disservice because they've got some very, very awesome stuff. I would like to give a shout out also to all the people here at Guild Spear, all the other players, the other GMs, the other producers, everyone who hangs out with us in our Discord. Our socials should be all popping up there right now. If you want to play IA with us, you want to try GMing, you want to come and hang out, come and check out our Discord, check out our Twitter, check out anything we got. We're there. And we're always open for business. So please come on in and say hi. Maybe get into a couple of games with us. Finally, I would like to give special thanks to Mr. Creep, as we call him, for designing the new Shadesong logo that you see up in the corner there. I don't know if it's there right now, but yes, it is right there. And no, right there in the corner there.
Beautiful.
There in the corner. He does not have a lot of social media, but I'm told it's on the way. So as soon as the social media is up, we will share it, just as we share everything else out here. We've made other changes in between the seasons. One, we have switched away from using Dungeon Dragon 5e to use the Dragonbane system, which is a system that is upcoming by Free League Publishing that's coming out in the next few months. We're using the beta PDF rules that came with the early backers on Kickstarter, which I am because I'm a Free League whore. And so the rules may change along the way. I don't think we're going to really bother keeping up within the 5-episode arc, but it is a brand new system. They're still iterating on it, so some stuff might be wonky, some stuff we might not know, some stuff we may need to look up. I'll try to keep it brisk and moving along, but it's the growing pains of a new system, which people should always be into trying new things, and that's what we're doing here, trying out this system, which should be fun. The players are playing There are 3 races: the Jotuns, who are giants who tend the world tree of Yggdrasil. Their children are called Jotunbæren. They are elemental. They are born out of elements of fire, earth, water, air, light, and void. And the Titans are slightly smaller giants that work with them, help them out. They recently, about 10 years ago, had some issues where they got corrupted, but they were cleansed, and now they're kind of folded back into society a little bit. And this is who these characters are playing. That's all you're going to get from me. You can always check me out on Twitter at the Bleakseason, or my website, bleakseason.com, where all this stuff is laid out in grand detail. Without further braying about, if everybody's ready or not, because just gonna go anyways. Let's begin then. So, Shadesong season with Winter Thrice. We open up in the city or town of Frostheim, which is located in the area of Kettelheim. And it's the one map I didn't load because I'm stupid that way. I'll find it at some point while somebody else is talking, and I'll put it up. But yes, so the area where the Jotuns live in the north is called Kettelheim. It is where Yggdrasil, the world tree, lives. And one of the regions is called Frostheim, and I'll find the map in a second. I'm just stupid. I didn't load it. It's called Frostheim, and the town is also... thank you. See? Old school.
Ellie, stop sucking up.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Want me to hold it up for a while?
Yes.
Would you like, Shelly, a couple more stat points? You can add like 5 more points to your...
my God.
Ooh.
I wish I would have thought of that.
Yeah.
Good job,
It's
Shelley.
too bad you didn't.
I just make a blanket out of it and make it in my background next week.
That's right. That'll get you some goodies. All right. Hold on. Now I'm looking for the map because I can't stand the fact that I forgot it. Because,
It's a new system. Blame Dragonbane. It's the new system that's throwing it off, right?
That's right. The new system threw me completely off here. It's going to take a second and a half. There we go. Pop it in there. Come on. Come on. Come on. Right. All right. So we have in Kettelheim, land of Frostheim, which is in the shadow of Yggdrasil. It is a land or a zone in Kettelheim that is constantly in winter, because Kettelheim is separated into 4 zones that cover each of the seasons. This, my friends, is the winter that never seems to end. By this time in the cycle, temperatures should be mild and snow a rare, delicate thing, even here in Frostheim. But it's been unseasonably cold for a few weeks now, and thick, wet snow still drops from the sky every day, skies that are gray and thick with clouds. But the people of Frostheims, the Jotun, their children, the Jotunbærens, as well as the few Titans that can be found here, take it all in stride as they take everything. It's true that since Kettelheim and Yggdrasil were almost destroyed by the mad fire titan Surta 10 years ago, things have been rather quiet and peaceful. Just this damn winter that won't end. As you wake up on this particular morning, you hear a distinct sound of commotion outside. You rub your eyes as you drag yourself from your warm bed and move to the window. The brisk air of Frostheim greets you as it slips through the cracks of the shutters, carrying a hubbub of voices from the square outside. Your nose twitches as you smell both the wood smoke from the various chimneys in town and the smell of frying ham and onions and fresh baked bread coming from downstairs. As you prepare to open the shutters to see just what all the excitement is about, what would people see? And I guess we will begin, as we did earlier, with Skooz. Where's your character and what's happening to him on this fine morning?
I think on this morning, as every other morning, he will sort of slowly get out of bed and go about normal morning rituals, but I think that whatever excitement is happening out there kind of makes him skip a few steps. So coming out of am I upstairs of an inn, or am I in like my home?
No, you can tell me.
Yeah, I'm in a home. I'm in a real simple, real sort of cozy, like 2-room cottagey thing. Like nothing fancy at all. I have hired somebody to come overnight while I'm snoring to refresh the fire so that it's there when I wake up. And they left a note on the table, so I sort of like pretend to read it, but I don't really know how to read that well, so I kind of just put it back down on the table and walk outside. And emerging from this small like house cottage thing is a tall, now wearing like the beginning, sort of still donning some mail over like some fur, very dark, like dun iron colored flesh, kind of bright, quick to smile, with like a red metallic like bowl cut, and a massive hammer, like easily 2 feet across, just kind of over the shoulder. But he's missing a boot, and like after like a moment, he'd like and like sort of stomps back through the snow into the house to put his other boot on, and then comes out.
Boot with a wet sock in it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's really gross. He doesn't care though. I, as a player, would never. That's disgusting.
Just a rough business. Just a rough business. Thank you very much. Speaking of Titans, there is another one in this city in your group. Another Titan, perhaps a little bit older and wiser than Byron is, and that would be Agos. Tell us, Agos, what's happening to you on this fine morning?
Well, Agos is old, a bit decrepit in their presence. They don't sleep much these days. Things keeping them up, thoughts of lost crystals, thoughts of indigestion. But this particular morning, they're up early. They are out amongst the children who are at play even at this early hour, perhaps entertaining them with some magical tricks, perhaps making jokes by moving items from one of the local nearby vendors who happens to be setting up for the morning, so that they seem to look as if they've forgot something, using a magical trick to snatch things out and move them to the other side of this particular individual. The children giggling and laughing, perhaps flicking an object towards those individuals, and just, basically like being a little bit of a prankster with these kids. At some point, someone brings over as they do in the mornings, typically for Agos, someone will bring over a bowl of some sort of winter root vegetable soup, giving him something to eat. He's not a beggar. He's not necessarily, in need of help, but oftentimes people will help him because he certainly appears that he is. And he lives on the edge of town in a small hut. And on this particular morning, he is quite alert and excited and playful. He is an old Titan with a long white beard. His skin is flaky, like rust flakes almost coming off, as if he needs some serious moisturizer. And he does, unfortunately, give off a bit of a foul smell that he just can't seem to shake. He could probably use a bath, let's be honest.
Amazing. All right, as he walks into town, leaving a little trail of dust-covered skin behind him on the snow, which looks like, smoked paprika sprinkled all over the...
Exactly.
Gross. Body paprika.
Body paprika. He heads into town, as they head into town, as Aegos is heading into town, there's somebody else also awakening. Adis.
Yeah, so Adis has been awake for a while now, as is usual. She has spent every moment since the sun rose just sort of with her head hanging out the window, looking at everything going on, which was initially not a lot because it was very early. But as people are out there moving, she's getting more and more excited. Not, hailing from this particular town. This is a thrill. So she is trying her best to stay quiet because she's currently sharing a room with her friend and business partner, Gudrid, who is still asleep, and rightly so. But yeah, she is a Jotunbairn, so tall, like all of us are. But she is just like the epitome of brightness. She kind of exudes just light and good energy, and her coloring is representative of that, even down to her eyes, which are a light yellowish brown, but they also get very bright in yellow as well. She is wearing she's wearing winter clothes that have not seen a ton of use. They're partly stylish as well as functional. She definitely still considered that. And yeah, she's just sort of hanging half of her body out the window waiting for her roomie to wake up.
Excellent. And speaking of roomie, the last person in this august company, Gudrid.
Well, I'd have to say Gudrid has been awake for hours, but has been laying in bed pretending to sleep, just because she is not really a morning person. She's a all-night, overnight type person. So she was up very late, just because, sleep cycles and whatnot. So also she had some beverage. I think we all enjoy a beverage, so she had that. She's got a little bit of a gurgly stomach this morning. She's gonna finally sit up. She's got long, super white colored hair and a lot of bone jewelry. You can't always really tell because her hair is the same color as the bone jewelry, and a lot of scars. I mean, she's seen some shit, and her clothing is pretty worn. Definitely the exact opposite of her buddy 80s. Not super excited to start the day, half because she doesn't feel well and half because she really prefers to kind of be out in the wilderness. But with solitude, she understands the other side of it and is glad to be here and a little excited.
Excellent. As the four of you wake up, take stock of your surroundings, get dressed, start heading out, perhaps grab something, you walk out into the main area of the town to see everywhere other Jotuns and Jotunbairns and very few Titans. There are not that many so far up north, but basically most of the town is seemingly aware of some ruckus or something happening in the main plaza, and everyone is heading down that way, kind of talking, wondering what's going on, talking about it, people saying strangest things, hearing that their neighbor saw something, but everyone seems to sort of be going in that direction. And as you sort of start heading there yourself and asking around, perhaps, anyone know what's going on, so on and so forth, and no one really knows, you are greeted by a pretty strange sight as you turn a corner and advance towards what is the main sort of plaza in this area, the sort of square in the middle of town, to find that the tree that sits in the middle of the village, which normally at this time of year has no leaves, is very bare and very sort of just crooked and sad looking, has grown in full bloom with flowers bursting on it and leaves everywhere. And the ground around it near the central fire, there's a central fire that warms the main area where anyone can come and gather, and this is where people come and gather throughout the day. The entire area around it, the snow has all disappeared, and you see lush green grass. Plants of all sorts have started to grow, even things you've never seen before in this area. A strange manner of little bushes and little trees and all sorts of things have grown in this area. And as you watch, and as everyone watches, as everyone's kind of gathering around the area, it starts to spread. It's spreading a little bit, very slowly, but you can clearly see the snow melting and the new grass sprouting and then new flowers, and the ones that were already there are growing up. And there's this total just sense of awe from everyone around you looking at this. And this is a place, Kettleheim, where weird natural stuff happens all the time, but this is pretty strange. This is not, part of the normal, part of the brochure, as they say. And as you're gathering around, you notice that at the center of this area that is spreading is a very strange figure, something you've not really seen before. There is a person roughly the size of a Titan, so a little smaller than a Jotun, but dressed completely from head to toe in full armor, holding this great big spear, a shield with a crest on it that appears to resemble some sort of giant tree. And this green warrior is standing there and not moving. And you can clearly see that the grass is kind of growing around him. There are flowers that are starting to grow on his armor and sort of surrounding him and sprouting from him. And everyone's kind of just standing like, oh, what's up with this? And the sight that greets you is this man, I'm going to say man, but this figure. And this figure's just standing there, kind of impassive, not moving, not saying anything. And the greenery around is just sort of growing, and people around are like, well, that's crazy. What's going on? What is this? I've never seen anything like this. What's happening? Is this some sort of pre-celebration for the spring festival that's supposed to be happening? So no, it's way too far from now, and on top of that, it's still winter. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? So people around are kind of discussing this, trying to sort, and some of the children, more adventurous perhaps, are venturing forth on this little green and kind of coming up to him. It's kind of like one of those, British royal British soldiers, like nothing disturbs them. They come over and they kind of touch him and all that, and he just stands there kind of impassive, waiting.
Agos is going to follow the children up to the greenery, and doing so, going to detect magic to see, this individual, this green warrior, if they indeed are emanating magic at all.
You don't even need to roll. It is absolutely evident. There's just this fairly intense aura of power that emanates from him, and everywhere around it's clear that the grass that's growing all that's a magical effect, but he also, his gear, everything is just radiating this powerful sort of sense of ancient magic that's rolling off of him, kind of like your body odor wafts off of you.
Substantial body odor.
Substantial magic.
Agos will sort of approach, keeping an eye on the children to kind of see if they're getting into trouble, but just approaching the individual and looking at them. Traveler, from where do you visit us?
I've come from far, old man. You can see that there's little blades of grass in his beard and little flowers they're growing in it.
Yes, I believe you have. Do you know where you've come from?
I do. Do you know where you've come from?
Well, this morning I woke up in my hut, and I got my boots on, yes, and then I walked. Nevertheless, yes, of course I know where I came from.
That is a good place to come from, your hut. This is a home, a hearth. It is comfortable.
You seem reluctant to answer my question, but that's fine. I respect your privacy. You have brought some spring with you, and we are thankful.
I bring spring with me wherever I go. I am waiting to speak to your Jarl.
Has anyone sent for the Jarl?
Yeah, he's coming. Yes, I went. Did somebody go? Yeah, I think Jarl went. All right.
Well, it seems like that's under control. I guess the best thing we can do now is have a pipe.
Please, indulge. I myself do not, but I don't mind the smell. Well, the rest of you doing as Agos is having a discussion with this green warrior.
80s would definitely have come up into, the thick of all of this bustle, and she'll have a journal book sort of open in one hand, and she's like just furiously scribbling, sort of taking note of this very unique happening, and she'll just sort of be watching both what's happening and then people's reaction to it, and just all the while taking notes.
People seem to be kind of surprised, but not like we would be if it happened here. Like I said, weird things like this happen. Like this is just like, oh, great. Like this morning won't be boring after all, or something like that. Like there's always these kinds of things. And as you're kind of looking at this and whatnot, you'll feel a tug on your clothes, and when you look down, you'll see one of the kids, and he's one of the ones that is a big fan of your singing and your storytelling, and is often hanging around whenever you do so, until his father cuffs him in the back of the head and sends him home because it's getting late. He's like, it's just like in one of your stories.
I think so. It seems familiar, and I can't tell. Well, I don't know if it's mine or if it's someone else's story. It's interesting, though. What do you think?
I don't know. I think I honestly, I don't know if I should be scared or if I should be impressed. He looks very very imposing, but he also kind of looks like, I don't know, old, and like maybe someone just dug him up or something.
I don't think that we need to be scared until there's a reason to. Right now, it just kind of looks beautiful.
Well, if they don't have a song or a story about it, I'd probably make a pretty good one.
You're right. That's exactly what I'm working on.
And you should call it Hans and the Green Warrior. That's
really?
me, I'm Hans.
Yeah, I figured. I do like that title. We will work on the rest of it. Lyrically, I'll have to sort of, write you in a bit, but...
He looks around, he's like, I'm having so many ideas. I don't have any paper, though. I'll go find some paper. I'll put down some ideas for you.
Okay.
He runs off to his home to get some paper. As for the rest of you, Gudrid.
Gudrid is gonna look around for 80s. Once she finds her, she'll go up and kind of just stand next to her, probably for maybe a minute or two, like cracking her neck, popping all her joints. And then she'll turn and say, Did I take anything unusual last night? Is this really here? Sometimes I can't trust my own eyes.
You have a tendency to get into trouble, but I don't think that you did this.
Okay, that's reassuring because I'm looking at some of these faces and there's a whole mixture of emotion that I'm picking up, and I'm glad to not be the cause of it for once.
I mean, your time will come.
Indeed.
I thought maybe it was something I drank last night when I had your stuff over at the tavern that's making me see this as one of the old men in the crowd next to you. I mean, your stuff's given me visions before, but nothing like this.
It's probably not a vision if we're all, seeing it. But hey, I mean, maybe it looks different for you. It happens sometimes with.
There a big green guy standing next to a big green tree.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Yeah.
Crack.
And as you know, our product is very exclusive and very, it varies user to user. So you will never have the same experience twice, and you'll never have the same experience as anyone else. And that's why it's so fun.
I was wondering though, will you be making some of that watermelon flavored one again, like you had last summer? That was excellent. My wife loved it, and she doesn't like anything.
Well, I'm glad that we can find something that will suit her palate. Absolutely, that was one of our best selling beverages last year. So we'll definitely be doing it. We just need everything to kind of get in season, right? Quality is of the utmost importance. So.
Yeah, it's a little too sweet for my taste. I like, my hooch a little bit more, but
yeah.
The wife loved it.
We've got varieties for everyone. Don't worry.
Scooter is probably slinking behind just so that 80s can be the absolute face of our product.
I like that cabbage flavored one myself. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, you are the only one. But I am happy to make a special batch just for you. And if any other flavors come to mind, you just let us know.
Well, I always said I was the only one in this town with any good taste. The cabbage will do me fine, young lady.
Great. Super great. Gudrid, don't forget, more cabbage.
Cabbage. Yep. Got it. Yeah. Great.
And speaking of cabbages, Byron. What's Byron doing?
Byron has on his way to the plaza stopped at every place that he knows where he can find a good biscuit. There's some people that make biscuits, and he just so he gets there and he's got maybe 3-4 different kinds of biscuits, each with a bite out of them, and he's already lit his pipe on the way there, and it's taking a couple puffs and eating a biscuit, which is a very strange combination. But he gets there and he sort of sits at the edge of the whatever crowd is forming around, and peers over as much as his form will allow, kind of jingles along the way, and you can see he's holding this very long, strangely elegant, carved briar pipe that doesn't fit. He's got blood red metal gauntlets on, and just holding this very small bowl with a long, a church warden, if you would, Gandalf pipe, so to speak. He's just sort of puffing at the edge of the crowd, generally curious, and is I guess I think Byron would have definitely tried this product, but not last night. Last night he was just drinking cider, and he smells like fruit booze sweat at this point. But he's still super happy, but he's not hungover and angry or anything like that. He's just kind of, I made my choices.
As you're taking all this in and realizing you made your choices, there's a voice that comes behind it quite well that says, "What's all this then?" And you turn around to see Melchior Aldberg, your new leader among the Titans, the Titan who was able to cleanse all the other Titans from the corruption that had taken hold of them some 10 years ago. He just steps up behind you, still buckling his belt. He goes, "What's going on here?"
There's a large green decorated person by the. Would you like a biscuit? Hold that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Thanks. Can I have one that you haven't chewed on yet? That's
Yep,
fine. I'll take that. That's okay. No, that's good. Thanks.
Susan made these biscuits. Susan makes the best biscuits.
These are pretty good, I must say. But yeah, do we know what this is all about?
Not yet. I just got here just a second before you did.
Is the Jarl coming?
I heard somebody yelling about the Jarl earlier, presumably.
Just watch. You're gonna blame this on us again.
Blame spring on us?
You know, one, it's late, so they're gonna blame us for it being late, and now it's here, but it's not the way. They'll find a way to blame us. This is a good biscuit. But it's a bit dry. You don't have like.
I'll take a bottle of cider. It's what, sunrise? Like what time is it? Doesn't matter. Byron holds out a bottle and like unstops a cork, and there's like a very, very hard cider, like probably forgotten about.
Apples are good for breakfast.
Well, yep. It's apple. I call it applesauce.
It's a good name for it. Did you make it?
I may have put my finger in the process. Yes.
I thought I detected a strange little aftertaste.
Well, sir, I don't know what you would like to do. There's not many of us, and if they're gonna, do you recognize this person? Do you know of green people in your travels?
No. I mean, this seems to be pretty specific. I don't think that just random knowledge about random green people would cover this particular situation.
An oddly specific green person, yes.
Yes, I don't know. I think I see the Jarl come in. We'll get some information to find out what this is all about. And as he speaks, you can, in fact, see Jarl Calder coming down from his longhouse. He's the Jarl, but he's not someone who takes himself very. He doesn't sort of walk around with fineries and guards and all that. He's a craftsman. He's just like everybody else. He just happens to be the one who makes decisions about certain things here. And as he approaches, you can hear people, start getting excited, knowing that there's some answers on the way. And as the Jarl approaches, the warrior in green looks up and goes, "Jarl Calder, I must speak with you." And the Jarl says, "So I am told. What's this about then? I think we can thank you for bringing a taste of the spring to our home. But I can't help but wonder exactly what such presence might be leading to." The warrior in green says, "I bring word from far, bring word from the Vasir. It has come to their attention," and here I open a parenthesis to say that certainly Adis, perhaps Gudrid also, and perhaps Aegos also. I will let you two decide if you would know of this. I think, Aegos, we've already talked about this a little bit, but they'll talk about the Vasir, and the Vasir are basically the beings that the Jotun believe created everything. They're not gods per se. They are like all gods that used to be worshipped. They don't really kind of worship them anymore and so on and so forth. But they're the ones that supposedly sort of created everything else, including the Jotun and all that. They're not part of day-to-day life out here at all anymore. The Jotuns don't really have gods per se. But some of you, the more learned ones, are the ones who know about stories and myths and all that, would would certainly have heard of them. And so he says, the Vaesir, I come from the Vaesir. They have sent me with an urgent message for you, my Jarl. They have decided that this plague-ridden world where your land sits has become a danger to the other realms. You are hereby ordered, beginning immediately, to start severing the ties between this world and the World Tree. You and your people are to use hatchet, axe, and saw and begin work on cutting all the roots of Yggdrasil. During that time, those of you that cannot work can travel back to Jotunheim, the land where you originated from. The others can join them once the tree has been severed. But this world beyond your mountain range has become too much of a threat for the others. There's fear that this pestilence that has brewed outside your walls now for some time might travel, infect the tree again, as they tried to do some years back.
And what of the Titans? What would your Vaesir have us do then?
No one mentioned the Titans. I don't expect that there would be much of a problem with them following to Jotunheim. I am unfortunately not personally familiar with Jotunheim. Perhaps there are Titans there. The Jarl says there are, but you appear here in the morning like this, saying you come from the Vaesir. You've displayed some power, that is for sure. However, what you're asking us to do is rather dire. I would certainly love to have some proof that you do carry word from the Vaesir. He said, I do, in fact. And he approaches the Jarl and puts his spear in a hand that's holding the shield, and then reaches into a pouch at his belt, and he pulls out what you can kind of see roughly look like perhaps a bunch of wooden tokens or something like that, and he drops them in the Jarl's hand, and the Jarl takes them, and he looks at them for a little while. You understand that I must discuss this with my advisors. What you're asking us to do is rather terminal and will require much effort. The Green Warriors returned to his place, and he's standing exactly where he was standing a few minutes ago, and he says, we understand this. We expect you to move with all due haste, but obviously a day or two or a week or two won't make much of a difference in the long run. You are simply expected to begin these preparations as soon as possible and to carry them out as quickly and as swiftly as possible. And where will you be if we need to speak with you? I don't intend to go very far. I have other villages to visit. It'll be faster if I bring word than if you do. But you should speak to your advisors, and you should get to work as soon as you can. And they all was like, we'll talk amongst ourselves and see about that. Will you return here? I'll wait until the end of the day should you have questions for me. But after that, I will move on to the next village. And the Jarl says, and he seems really perturbed by what he's holding in his hand. He's like, very well. And at that, the Green Warrior seems to sort of dissipate slowly and sink into the earth, as the earth just sort of swallows him, and what's left behind is just this patch of green grass. And even after he's gone, the patch of green grass remains, and the tree remains in full bloom next to it. And there's consternation as people all around you are sort of asking questions, exclaiming, disbelief in this. Some are very upset, perhaps are crying. Others are totally incredulous about it. Well, the Jarl is standing there looking at his hand, and some of the older folk in the village will come to him and speak to him. And he's like, call the Vordruna. We will get answers to this. Do any of you wish to do anything whilst you wait? Please, go ahead.
Aegos would be very curious to see what those are in the Jarl's hand. So he would try to, having a relationship with the Jarl, of course, he would sort of be close to him. Jarl, you don't intend to listen to this stranger, to go against everything the Jotun have stood for since the beginning of time, tending the world tree, now told to sever it. And while he's talking, he's kind of like trying to get eyes on whatever the tokens look like.
All right. He'll say, as you're trying to get a look at it, you can go ahead and here, give me a bluffing roll. No, give me a spot hidden roll. That would be good. Give me a spot hidden roll. Yeah. So you're going to roll. Your spot hidden base is 12. So you're going to roll a d20 and try to roll under that. You can, if you want, use your heroic ability. Knowledge of epics if you want to blow 2 willpower points to gain a boon.
I rolled a 4. I'm good.
So what you're seeing in his hand, he's got 3 wooden tokens that each have different runes on them. And you recognize these runes. You've never seen the tokens, the wooden tokens themselves, but you recognize these runes as each being representative of the 3 main races that make up the vase here. So it's kind of like the royal seals of the three groups that make up the vase here, and you can definitely, just by looking at them, feel the magic. So it's not so much that it's a wooden coin with a specific rune in it. It's, you assume that just by holding it, he is convinced of the legitimacy of these things. You can yourself kind of feel the power in it. And so as
to be ensorcelled in any way himself?
No.
Okay.
He seems to be pretty much himself, and as he's responding to you as you're trying to sneak a peek at this, he says, well, I certainly intend to do what the Vaesir want us to do, whether or not this green warrior, in fact, does speak for the Vaesir is a question that I hope the Vordruna will be able to answer. There is something a little strange. As far as I know, the Green Warrior who served the Vaesir has been dead for a very long time. And whilst it's not unheard of for people to return from the afterlife, I would like to know why he specifically was chosen to come back and to serve in this way. So perhaps the Vordruna will give us answers to this.
I certainly hope so.
Did you sense anything specific about him that alerted you, or?
The request itself is terribly troubling.
We've not heard much about this. We've not heard much about this plague, but I've had reports of it. There is supposedly beyond our mountains several areas of the mortal world that have been infected with a plague for the past 10 years that endures. And while I think the protections we've put on the gates of dawn and dusk that prevent just anybody from walking into Kettleheim would be enough to protect us, there's perhaps more at play than we know. Do any of the others want to do something about this? The Melker has left you and gone to stand by the Jarl to kind of hear what's going on.
Sure.
Byron, do any of you want to do something else before the Vordruna comes?
I think Adis would have eventually sort of snaked her way over to near enough to the Jarl to hopefully overhear things, but trying to be discreet, and then just continuing to sort of examine faces in the crowd, see if anybody, I don't know, looks like they are not surprised by this in some way. But mostly she'll still be observing.
Okay, you can, if you wish, give me an awareness check.
Sure.
So same thing, your intelligence is high enough that your base is 12, so you would roll a d20 under 12 to succeed, equal or under 12 to succeed.
I rolled a 10.
Very good. So mostly you get the sense that people are, there's a mix of reactions. Some people are, curious, some people are afraid, some people are upset, some people, but basically, by and large, the Jotun and the Jotunbarons are very steadfast people. So no one's really kind of like, do anything too extreme. They're basically waiting for the Jarl to make a statement about it. You don't spot anyone suspicious or anyone who's reacting in a way that you would consider to be not, suspicious, or that would be suspicious or not what you would expect.
Cool.
Anybody else?
I think before Adis took off, I would probably look to her and say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how crazy is this request, do you think? Like, I'm thinking 17. What do you say?
It certainly feels strange. Do I recall anything like this happening ever, just based on, the things I've read?
Give me a myths and legend. Anybody else can also, by the way, if you want, if you have myths and legends and you want to roll it.
You betcha. Ooh, that is a natural 1.
Nice. That's a dragon, right? So when you roll a natural 1, it's a dragon, which means a critical success in the parlance of this particular game. Anybody else get anything?
I will also roll a myths and legend check, but I rolled a 10, which doesn't do it.
Ah.
I have success with a 6.
Nice. And Gudrid was not rolling it?
I can roll it. Not really. Ooh, 4.
All right. So Gudrid and Agos, while you've not necessarily heard of a specific story or tale like this, you have heard of tales where worlds were cut off from Yggdrasil. So either because they died off or because they were problematic, so there are stories of worlds being cut off. It's usually not the people of that world that are told to, cut the links and move out of there. It's usually a decision that's made against them, either for some crime or for some reason, or because the world has died off or something. So it's happened. It's really like you prune a tree. It's literally that. You prune a tree, you cut off the sick branches and whatnot to allow it to sort of grow. So you've heard stories of worlds being cut off from Yggdrasil before, and just not in this particular manner. In your case with that dragon, 80s, you actually realize that you've heard of this green warrior before, and it is true that there has been in stories a green warrior that spoke for or worked for the Vasir. He was never the same person. It was more of a role that was taken rather than a specific person that was taken. And before, so at some point a long time ago, the Jotuns were put in charge of tending the World Tree. Before that, it was the job of a group of people that were these green warriors. And this was at a time where there was a lot more strife and war, so tending the World Tree was more about killing things that were trying to damage it or destroy it than it was really about taking care of it. And it was only once the Vasir had united and kind of pacified all the worlds that they moved away from that, and through some other stories ended up making the Jotun the caretakers of the tree, because now it was time to take care of it. And so the green warriors kind of faded away as they died off and whatnot, and the last one died a very long time ago. We're talking like thousands of years ago, the last one died, and there was never another Green Warrior that was created or that appeared or was told they never appear again in any of the stories. So your dragon would tell you that much. And you would know the same thing the others noted. You would probably know a few more specific instances of something like this kind of happening, where in very rare occasions a decree coming down and the people of a certain world being evacuated from it, and then basically pulling the plug out as they went. Very, very rarely, because usually it's because of what the people are doing and not external factors that create this. So you would have heard that.
Okay.
So as you're pondering all this, make way, Zvala, the Jarl's Valdruna, is basically chief advisor and the one who reads the bones, is coming along with her stick kind of all bent over and kind of crooked, as all these old crones usually are. She arrives, and you can already hear the click-clacking of the bones in her hands, as usually when she gets called out in the middle of the day like this, it's because something's gone wrong and someone wants to know what's going to happen. And so she's shuffling in. She's like, what's happening now? Is everything gone upside down again, Jarl? You really ought to take better care of your world. Can't be relied upon consistently to fix everything for you, pup. Look, Zvala, you honor us with your presence, as always. And if you would be so kind, we do appear to have a bit of a situation here you might be able to help us with. Of course I can help you. I can help you with everything, whether or not I choose to. That's another matter entirely. Come on, Zvala, you know as well as I do that you play difficult and grouchy, but we all know what a big heart you have and how much you care for this community and the people here. You're about to make me vomit my breakfast, pup. What is it? Come on, out with it. Don't you notice anything strange and interesting in the square? Well, I see a tree and some grass, which is a little odd, but considering where we live, I don't think that it really would warrant me having to leave my home so early in the morning. Well, it's because you missed the person that came with them. And so the Jarl retells the story of everything that's happened since the morning, and in the end he shows Zvala the coins that he got, and she looks at him and goes, anyone can make those. That doesn't mean anything. I can make those. You want some of those? I can make a bunch of those for you. Can make 6 of those for you before noon. Like, what I need from you, Zvala, is a bit of an indication about whether or not we should take this request seriously, or whether we should perhaps be looking for tricks. All right. I guess you want me to roll the bones then? Well, that is what you do best. It's not what I do best, but they don't let old people like me do what I do best anymore. As she says that, she kind of spots Ego staring, gives you a little lewd wink. Hey there, young man.
Ooh. He definitely winks back.
Nice to see you again.
It's been a while. It's been too long.
Looking younger every day.
And very nice. Are you going to cast the bones?
Well, I guess I have to, otherwise they won't give me anything to eat again for another week, and then where will I be? Old and desiccated and famished and dying slowly in my hut?
You're always welcome to pass by my hut sometime.
Well, that's an interesting offer. Tell me, do you still shed?
I do. I know you like that.
Well, I don't know if like's the word I would use, but you're very kind, and I appreciate the offer. And mayhaps if this darn winter doesn't let off and my bones get any colder, I'll consider coming by your place for some hot tea. but onto the bones. And as she says that, she's had these bones in her hand all this time, and as she says, she just whips them out, throws them, and they fly off into the air and sort of scatter on the ground around the fire. And she goes over and she gets on all fours and she starts looking for them, and kind of find people are kind of backing away from them as if, she threw like a poison or something, like no one wants to get anywhere near them. But she starts going around and she starts picking them out and starts going through them. So, oh, that's interesting. Oh, what's this? I've never seen this rune before. Oh, that's just an old piece of potato. She throws it away. And she keeps going around. Finally, she's got all of them. She kind of brings them in front of her. And any of you who, mostly Agos, I guess, but you would certainly feel the magic power that has sort of started permeating the area. You know that the type of magic that she uses, this ability to sort of see into the future, is terribly dangerous, terribly powerful magic. And whenever she uses it, you know that a big part of why she's so grouchy is because there's always a cost. And you know that, eventually tomorrow or in 10 days or in a year from now, she's going to have to pay that cost. Like, it's not something that the Jarl calls for, just for laughs. And as much as she's kind of making light of some of it, it's a fairly demanding thing. But as she kind of gathers them, she says, well, these runes tell me much, young pup. She looks at at the Jarl. They tell me much. They tell me that they cannot tell me anything, which in and of itself is a lot. Unfortunately, the question you seek an answer to is not found in the future alone, and that is where my talent lies. But rather, the answer to your query lies in the past, in the present, and the future. And you know what that means. There are only 3 who can tell you of the past, the present, and the future. And so you should dispatch forthwith a group of people to take your query to them and see if they have any better answer for you than I do. What the runes do tell me, however, the runes do tell me who should go on this quest for you. The runes first call, and she holds up a couple of them, for 2 who are opposite, yet who complete each other. Their spirits handle the mind, make the coward brave, and the lover, and here she looks at Agos a little bit, adventurous. Are there 2 here who would recognize themselves in this description? And she turns and she looks at the 2 of you, Hades and Gudrid. Any idea?
I think 80s would take a moment to catch on, just because she feels like Gudrid is very similar to her in some ways. So I think it would take a moment to hit.
Gudrid throws down the piece of rock she's pretending is a bone and rolling in her hand. Shit. And then she's like acknowledges that she's one of the ones she's talking about.
Oh, is it us? Cool.
Yeah, it's us. It is us.
Awesome.
I didn't want to do this.
Oh,
Okay.
it'll be fun.
I guess.
The runes are not done. They also instruct these 2 to leave 2 jars of their finest with the caster of these runes as a gift. The spirits who speak to us.
You know that our product, our beloved Kettleheim 1, is...
Yeah. Just give me 2 jars of it.
Yeah, 2. There you go.
And none of that watermelon flavored shit.
Nope, that's the
That was
summer special.
disgusting.
Nope, this is perfect. Don't worry.
It is our honor. I just slipped that in really quick and then leaned back behind her again.
I know. Next, and she picks up another rune. The rune's called for one of the earth people. Stout of heart and limb, if not of mind. To bring stability and caution to the endeavor. She looks over at Melker. Have you one such with you? And Melker says, I believe I do. He comes over to you. She means you, Byron. Byron.
Me?
Yeah.
Shit. He'll drop his biscuits into the snow and like oddly like salute for like a second. Okay. Do I feel like you would be better at this than me, sir. Shit.
I know, but I have a feeling that I may need to start making plans with the Jarl. Regardless of how this is going to turn out, there's bound to be some actions that need to be taken.
Okay.
My man will go. Step aside with me for a moment, that we may speak on this.
Yep.
And as you step aside, he'll tell you the thing that I told you earlier. She watches the two of you go with a bit of a suspicious eye, and then says, finally, the runes call for one who speaks the ancient language of the world to bring wisdom and knowledge. Damn it. I didn't want to have to go on this trek. It's so far. Will you spare me, my Jarl, that I may accompany these fools and take them along this journey? Make sure they don't get lost on the way out of the village. The Jarl says, well, if you think it's important that you go, I'm afraid the runes have spoken. Well, if you must, you must. Just make sure you not only bring them all back, but that you come back with it. I'll do my best. Very well. Could the lot of you then come with me? We will discuss this further in my longhouse. Everybody else, go home. I don't know what the decision will be yet, but I will give you instructions by the end of the day. Go back to your families, go back to your homes, go back to your tasks. The day goes on. I'll return to speak with you before the sun dips low. All right, then, the lot of you, come along. As you're turning around and following the Jarl to his house, the old lady comes up to you, Agos, and she's like, well, looks like our little illicit rendezvous is going to have to wait a little bit.
Disappointment. Well,
Is it really, though?
We've waited this long. What's a bit longer? Shit. Thought I was going to get lucky there.
Lucky.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
I'll still be back, if that's what you're worried about. Help me here, or rather, here, let me help you. She grabs your arm.
Oh, there we go. Right there. Oh, yes.
How are things, Agos? How goes your research?
Well, I tell you, it's a thankless job. studying esoteric mysteries and such. Well, you know, no stranger to that pursuit, I'm sure. I've learned a few things here and a few things there, but nothing that has put it all together for me in a way that is cogent and understandable. But perhaps with this new adventure, there will be things to learn and uncover, and maybe revelations. Yes, revelations.
Are you intimating to me that you would like to come along?
Well, I very much would, if.
But you're so frail and weak, and
well,
you look like you're falling apart in front of my. In fact, you are.
This is true. I have seen many days, many nights, and the seasons changed many times, but I feel as though there's still a role for me to play. I can't be put away and put on the shelf and left to serve no purpose. I would very much like to endeavor on this journey.
Well, the runes weren't very specific about whether or not the person of wisdom going on this journey should have a cock or a pair of teats.
True, very true.
I simply thought that perhaps you might not enjoy venturing so far away from the town. I sought to perhaps alleviate some of that burden from you.
No, I am prepared. In fact, I have most everything I own right here in this bucket. I could leave post haste immediately if need be. I'm ready for this. And to be fair, I have both cock and teats, so I think I'm well qualified.
Oh. I saw something else in those runes, Agos. I saw much knowledge to be gained, but I saw also much death, much conflict, much darkness. Are you certain that at this point, this is what you wish to encounter?
Well, if I can make a difference one last time, then it will be worth it. The darkness, the death, and the rest of it. If I can help these young adventurers in some way, which I believe I can, well, then I shall do so. I shall serve my purpose.
Very well. We'll ask the Jarl what he thinks. If he agrees, you may go in my stead.
If that's the case, then you and I shall perhaps celebrate this evening.
I doubt we'll have a chance to celebrate this evening. I'm sure the Jarl will want you to be on the road as soon as this little meeting of his is over.
Well, maybe we can celebrate this late morning then.
Perhaps if you don't fall apart on me between now and the Jarl's home.
Fair.
So the lot of you will gather in the longhouse. The Jarl will welcome you. His wife Inger is there. She will have, as if by some premonition, prepared food and a hot drink for everyone. And as you sit at the table at the Jarl's longhouse table, he'll say, as you may have understood from Zvala's usual cryptic words, I will be asking you to travel to Yggdrasil itself to speak to the three crones. There's one there who sees the past, one who sees the present, and one who sees the future. They should be able to tell you a little bit more about this request from the Vasir and about this green warrior. I do not wish to impose this on any of you. The runes, as always, can be read several different ways. But I will ask you once, are you willing to undertake this particular quest for us, for your people?
Yeah. Are you kidding? This is like the best thing. I mean, it's a very serious endeavor, and we don't take it lightly.
Who? The 3 crones. We go to see 3 old women.
Even older than Zvala, yes.
Special
If
old
such a
women.
thing is possible.
We go to visit 3 special old women.
Yes.
Do they have treats, or do they make drinks?
I'm sure they can accommodate you.
I'm in.
Very well. That was refreshingly easy.
We know of these crones.
Yes, you do. So the three crones that live inside Yggdrasil itself are the ones who, whenever someone is born, be they a human, a Jotun, a Jotun Baron, whatever, they immediately see the whole of their lives, and they know exactly what their future holds for them. It is a strong belief that the future is set and cannot be changed. Regardless of what you do, what's meant to be will be. So there's no point in staying at home. You might as well go out and live it up a little bit. And these 3 crones have access to the waters of Erd, which are the waters that circulate under the tree, and by drinking from those waters can see through the entirety of time. And so they tend to know what's happening, what has happened, and what is to come. But they also see beyond this particular world. They see into the world of the dead and everywhere else. So it's usually not good to go and ask them too much, because 1, they're usually not fond of revealing anything, especially personal things about your personal life, your future. And 2, sometimes the act itself of revealing these things can mess with things. So it's not, you don't just roll up to their house and go, hey, what's going to happen tomorrow? But they're kind of mythical in some ways. It's not like you've know anyone who's ever going to talk to them or anything like that. They're sort of in stories, but you're not surprised at all that this is one of those stories that is true. Quite an opportunity, in fact, you would think, I think. And what of you, young Jotun Baron? Your friend is going. Will you go as well?
I'll absolutely go. How far is it, though?
Few days walk. You simply head northwest, out the gates of the village. You'll cross the Fomorian bog. There's a bridge there that will take you across to Yggdrasil itself. Once you get to Yggdrasil, we'll go to the base and look for 3 old crones.
This is a place that we don't normally get to go, right? I mean, we don't get to go to the middle, the Yggdrasil.
No, usually it's the Jotuns that, if there's anything that needs to be done in Yggdrasil, it's the Jotuns that go.
Are there any unusual creatures that we should know about?
Yeah, there's all manners of creatures. Oh, you're asking him.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Use my Gudrid voice.
Well, there are always creatures about up there. I mean, I don't think you're going to encounter anything we've never heard of. But you certainly will want to be on your toes. There are all sorts of animals and other such creatures that populate the area northwest of here, especially once you're in the forest and into the Fomorian bog.
I will definitely go. It sounds It sounds intriguing, yes. And I am a huge fan of learning about new animals in the area.
Well, there you go. You'll certainly be well pleased to you'll certainly have more than enough to keep you entertained on your ride there. And what about you, Zvala? You sure you can make this trip? Well, actually, there's someone even younger than me who I think perhaps might be better suited. And she kind of elbows you. Egos.
I shall go in Svala's stead, if it pleases the Jarl.
Are you sure you can take it? It'll just be a arduous road.
No, of course, yes. I'm light on my toes and well equipped for the weather. And, well, I travel lightly. Everything I own is right here in this bucket.
That's what the bucket's for. I see no reason why you shouldn't. Might as well live a little. He goes over to a shelf and he pulls down a bunch of little rocks and he comes over to you, Egos, and he hands them to you. And when you take them, they don't feel magical or anything, but there are little rocks and they are engraved with the Jarl's personal rune. He says, these are Jarl's favors. You can trade them most places for help or goods or favors. Don't spend them frivolously. But should you need to, they should be honored most of where you go. And they should be able to open most doors and secure most help that you need. Use them wisely. Open doors, purchase favors.
Is there anything we should be bringing to the crones as a gift on behalf of the Jarl? Shall they receive us without offering?
They do not generally require offering. If they feel like seeing you, they will see you, and if they don't, they won't. And if they do, it's because there's something in it for them by that very nature. So I wouldn't worry about it too much, but I'll trust that you can make good on whatever requirements they have. As far as anything else you might need, our larder here is well stocked, so if you need anything for the road, some rations, camping equipment, blankets of the sort, we will sort you out before you go. All you have to do is ask. I would like you to make all due haste to Yggdrasil, speak to the crones, tell them what happened here today, and ask them what they think we should do, and then return to me, so that we may make the best decision that we can. If it is our time to leave our world and sever our ties to it, then so be it. We will return to Jotunheim and see our people there, but if there's some sort of treachery afoot, I would rather know before we commit ourselves.
I mean, before we sever the tree from the mortal realm. That sounds like a good idea to me.
He reaches over on the shelf, pulls out a rolled scroll, hands it to you. Gudrid, and said, here's a map of the regions northwest of here that should help guide you through.
I unroll it, and I am studying it before we even leave.
Not a problem.
Right away.
Thank you for doing this. It's a great service. As I said, make all due haste. And as soon as we come back from break, we will find you on the road northwest of here, heading to Yggdrasil and to the Three Crones. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back very shortly. Don't go anywhere. Sell some refreshments, hit the loo, as we will do, and we'll be right back. We have returned and are ready to rock and roll, as they say. So you have gotten whatever supplies you want, so you can adjust your character sheets if you grab some extra rations, if you need an extra blanket, things of that nature. You can totally pick it up before you leave the town. You'll, of course, get to go back to your abodes, pick up whatever you need. So within an hour or so, you guys will have set off, following the trail going northwest, and you will first traipse through a forest, and I'd say maybe like near the end of the day, you're starting to see the snow becomes a bit more sparse here and there, and you actually kind of manage to find the first night that you're traveling, thanks to Gudrid's skills at bushcraft. You managed to find a little area that has really kind of been spared a lot of the snow because of the canopy of the forest. And while it is actually snowing, when you make your camp the first night, the first day goes by without much incident. You're still close to the town. There's nothing out here that's kind of strange. You're just in the forest for most of the day. At night, you'll make a camp, and I will ask one of you to give me a bushcraft roll, and we'll say the others are helping you, so you can take a boon on it. And just to get an idea of, if you really screwed a pooch on the...
You guys want me to do it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Bleak, what's a boon for people who might be...
So boons and banes in the game are basically advantages and disadvantages. So when you get a boon, you get to roll double the dice and pick the one you want. And when you get a bane, same thing. You roll double the dice, and then you take the worst one, or in this case, the highest one. You're always trying to roll low in this game.
I made it. I rolled a 10, which is exactly... I rolled a 10 and a 16, but I exactly made my bushcraft number.
All right. Perfect.
Nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy, but you find a nice dry patch with cover from the snow that seems to be kind of picking up a little bit. Maybe you fully expect that by tomorrow morning there will be snow covering the ground again, but for now you found a nice little patch. You've built yourself a nice little warm fire. You've set out some food, so you can each scratch off a ration of food from your bags. And as the evening's settling in, I assume a little bit of hooch makes an appearance.
This campsite is wonderful, Gudrid. You seem to have quite extensive knowledge of the wildlands. Tell me, are you a scout or a hunter of some sort?
Well, thank you for appreciating this campsite that I found for us. It's adequate. I've found better, of course, but this will do for us for tonight.
Quite cozy.
It's we might be a little chilly in the morning, just so you know, but I think it'll be fine. Yes, I'm a hunter. I have hunted in the hills back behind the golden fields, where we live. Both 80s and I live in that area. So I am very accustomed to the cold and camping alone, to be honest. So I apologize if I haven't found a nice spot for everybody.
Oh, no, it's very, very nice. Isn't it nice, everyone? It's quite nice.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot better as soon as this kicks in. And I pour a little bit of a special hooch. This is our variety number 3. It's a very generic name, but it warms you up. And if you hear anything weird at night, don't pay any attention to it.
Oh, so we should drink this before I go on watch.
Maybe after.
Oh, okay.
Gosh.
This was a more of like a slow sipper, but
Well, you
I'll
should
sip
have
the next one.
led. Yes. Lead with that next time for your just a little bit of advice on your pitch. If you're like traveling villages trying to sell your stuff.
I
Yep.
was not aware you were going to chug it,
Well,
but that's fine. But that's fine. You know, I've got the first watch. I know this drink. I can take the first watch.
We know your alcohol quite well. Your reputation precedes you, and it is quite an honor to drink with the distillers themselves. Where did you pick up such wonderful recipes?
honestly, it's mostly Gudrid. I am sort of just, I sell it. Honestly, though, it sells itself. So my job is super easy.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that it's super easy. No, you do a fine job with what you're given. Often we have batches that are not of the top quality, we could say.
We sell a product that people want. I think that's perfect.
I'm actually a little more interested to hear about you and Savala. I can't say that I didn't see any, something. There was something there, wasn't there?
Well, yes, there was, but a gentleman never tells. But I will regale you with a story if you would like to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
And you,
Byron.
Byron.
Yeah.
Are you with us still?
Yeah. If you give me, yeah. Byron had just kind of glazed off and just sort of tasting this thing, and you have more of number 3.
Yes,
3
I'll
plus
hand him
3
my
is
glass. I'm not
5.
going to be
I will
drinking it.
have another.
How many varieties do we have with us?
Well, we like to travel light, so
5.
yeah,
Only 5.
yeah.
Byron will pull a bottle of unsealed cider and 6.
Oh, you make your own beverages as well?
I don't. I work occasionally at the orchard with somebody who does make cider. In fact, this has a little bit of yours in it. Hers cider is not all that strong sometimes. So I put a little bit of the cinnamon one.
Nice.
That's a very particular taste, isn't it, 80s? It's love or hate, that one.
Yeah.
Put it in
50-50.
Thrice, and I'll pour it if you would like some.
I'll try it.
Mm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Please. Ooh.
Are there any instructions before we have this one?
No, I'm not that fancy.
Okay.
I swirl it anyway and get notes of
It's fucking dirty hot cider with cinnamon, whatever, a small amount of whatever cinnamon batch y'all made in just super funky, very boozy cider.
good.
Mm-hmm.
It's delicious.
I'm getting a note of goat.
Goat note. Oh.
Yes.
Yes. So am I.
Okay.
So am I.
I will. We need to make note of this for the next batch. This is a bit stronger than our usual, so we should.
Well, he
Take this
added
down.
some stuff to it, I think, but yeah. I write some stuff down. A
Yeah.
little side note.
Byron, now that you're properly lubricated, what's up? What's your deal?
I'm a knight, and he'll sort of fluff up a little bit.
Who cut your hair?
I was going to ask that question myself.
I used to do
Particular
it
style.
myself, but I I have trouble sometimes taking care of my home, and so I have a friend who comes and stokes the fire, and she sometimes will cut my hair. It's very easy. You put like a wooden bowl over the top, and then you just sort of
Yeah. I could see that.
Very
That is,
distinctive.
you know what? Exactly. You know, it's like you have a look and everyone
Thank
will
you.
know it's you.
Thank you. It is. I guess I don't really think about it. It's easy. I have it cut when it gets past my eyes and I can't see anymore. Then I know it's time for another one.
Yeah.
That is a
And it's
good
nice because
policy.
I know it's all the same length, you know?
Yes. That is a good thing. It
It's
is a
good to know
thing.
that. Yes.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
can see where that would make you feel more complete, knowing your hair is all of the same length.
Yes.
So you're a knight, you said. What's that like?
Well, Melkor picked me. And when we returned, right? We were not always in Kettleheim. There was that bad business with corruption, but by the grace of the Jotun, we have returned, and with less of we are sort of a bit left to our own devices. We can kind of decide what we want to do, and I'm not good at making those kinds of choices, so I just followed Melkor. And it's nice. I don't know. I get to hit things every once in a while. I'm good at that.
That's always fun.
Oh. Yes.
You must be very good. I mean, Melkor is kind of a big deal, and to be traveling with him, that seems very important.
I'm very important, yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Can you believe it, Gudrid? We're here with a knight. I mean, this is some evening we're having.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, as you know, I do prefer to be alone, but I mean, I think this is some of the best company that we've had for quite a while.
They really are. I hate to say it. I will
You
still
need to keep better company.
Don't sell yourself short, Byron.
Yeah.
I'm speaking about this one, and I gesture.
Well, now, he's not wrong.
I could make you a salve for that skin situation that you have going on.
It's a bit flaky.
And red. But that
it's
is
rusty,
your
yes.
skin. Yes, rust.
Maybe
it was the light that
I
hit
tend
it
to
weird.
leave little bits of myself wherever I go. For better, for worse.
Like breadcrumbs.
Something of that nature, but I wouldn't eat them.
No.
Certainly no.
No, you don't eat paint chips. That's not a good idea.
But to leave a trail. Nobody else would eat them
Perhaps.
either. So better
They
than
don't
breadcrumbs.
taste very good.
Oh,
Well, there you go then.
okay. Agos, you know, I heard a bit about your interest in history.
Yes.
Tell me about that. I'm also very interested in history and myths and lore, and I think that this is actually going to be really great. You know, being able to talk to you about it, as you are a bit more experienced than I might be. You know.
Yes, I'm old.
Yeah.
It's fine. You can say it. I understand. It's the, it's the elephant in the room. It's a big room, and it's a bigger elephant. I'm here because I want adventure. I want to be useful. I want to see what's to be seen. I want to learn what's to be learned. And I've spent far too much time sitting in the village studying my books and serving at the whims of the Jarl. And well, I'm grateful to be here with you all. And yes, I have studied history and myth and legend, and I would share it all with you. I am curious how you, as I am very observant, how you also came to know about the Green Warrior. I find that there is much at question with this, but yes, I will answer any questions you have and willingly share my knowledge with you.
This is the best. You don't know how excited I am about this. Maybe, because it's the first night, we should just, relax and rest. Also, you drank a lot of our liquor and, things get fuzzy with that. So, but if you don't mind, like for the rest of this trip, maybe I'll just like talk to you all the time and you can, just like constantly tell me everything that you know about like
of course.
Everything.
Will you write songs about this journey?
Maybe, I feel like I'm kind of like more in a poetry and prose kind of phase, my music. Sure. I think I'm liking instrumental stuff more these days, so I can compose some music that might elicit feelings of a place or a time or a story itself, but lyrically I've been having some trouble lately, but more than song, I just am very interested in learning everything that I get to learn, and that's why I'm so excited that we're here now going to Yggdrasil. I mean, who gets to do that? Nobody gets to do that.
Right. We get to do it. I
know, and I know that this is also very important, and I do take it seriously, but I'm very, very excited to learn more. I have this really great book, and some other folks have written in it before, and I would like to just, keep adding my part of the story wherever I can.
Yes, 100%. What you just said.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yep. He might be. We should probably monitor.
It's okay. He's very old.
No, it's fine. Sometimes I kind of fall asleep with my eyes open. It's a bit uncanny and disturbing. I assure you, I am fully attentive.
Yeah.
Speaking of attentive, thank you so much for the raid. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. Just got raided by Lords and Ladies of Fate. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Hey.
We're going to Yggdrasil.
Little well-lubricated fireside chat on the way to Yggdrasil, as one does.
Yep.
In our little game here. Thank you so much for coming by.
Yeah.
Sorry to have interrupted you, but I'd like to welcome you.
She will actually. I turned to Agos. She will ask you many questions.
Yes, of course.
She's wonderful. She's one of my best friends and business partner. But to share her insatiable need for knowledge with you will be one of my favorite things from this trip.
How did the two of you come to be such close business partners and friends?
I mean,
we live close.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, when you make friends in your neighborhood, except for it's not exactly a neighborhood. It's like, not super close actually. And yet right there.
Close enough. Close enough.
Like a cul-de-sac or something?
Kind of more of like a line, a delineation.
That people don't normally cross, but in this case,
yeah. We like to live on the edge and break all the rules. So, yeah. Also, it's fun to have a friend that sees things almost entirely differently than you do, and I think there's a lot to learn from Gudrid, and
not the
also
least of which is how to make good hooch.
well, we definitely, have found a knack for that, and so
Indeed, you have.
It's fair to say we have bonded over quality control.
Yes, that is a very important part of our process, and the bonds of friendship really solidify when you're doing quality control
with hooch.
Yes.
Does quality control just mean drinking?
We test it. We want to make sure that our product that we're sending out is of the utmost quality. So it's like a celebration too. When we finish a batch, we taste test it, and then celebrate another batch.
Whatever happens,
we make
happens.
A lot.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
You'll see that his glass of the second number 6 is now empty.
Oh no.
I have I will give you more, but I feel that perhaps you might not be the best option for guard duty tonight. But you're welcome to more if you like it.
What I mean, what does it feel like?
Oh no.
This might happen, I guess, to some people. I hadn't really taken into account the different physiologies of
that's
us
interesting.
and them. I don't mean them in any kind of exclusionary kind of way, you guys.
Sure.
Of course not. We didn't.
But our
take it.
bodies are different.
Yes, you're very
interesting. What else are you feeling? I've got the notepad out again.
He's gonna take off the large warhammer, and then he's gonna reach on the other arm, and then take out like another sledgehammer, and just sort of put them there, and just sort of hold them, and like press them up and down in the snow, and make little noises.
Under Titan, tactile and audio experiences.
Wow. He's really having a fun ride.
I think we
great.
should give him another.
I always have a good time. That's one of my.
Yeah.
Have another.
Do you? I'll like lean over. Do you think Agos is like awake or asleep with his eyes open right now?
I'll sledgehammer his toe.
Hard to tell.
Yes. And like I was saying, and that was the one time where I ran in to my brother at the farm. Wait, what?
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. That was a lot.
It was a meaningful moment for me. Speaking of moments, I'm curious. The two of you seem to have quite a burgeoning business, doing well, making hooch, making people happy. Our friend over here is ham sandwiched. I'm curious. Well, why would you leave and go on such a dangerous mission into unknown and uncharted territories? Why would you leave your business behind, your revenue stream?
I mean, well, Gudrid, what do you think?
Well, to be fair, our revenue stream will continue for a while. We had made several batches leading up to this. I will just have to be extra vigilant and diligent in my hunting when we return. I might need to, stay up for longer than just, one night to find my quarry. It's going to be a little bit of work, but this is going to be worth it. 80s is going to get a lot of new information. Perhaps it will help get her creative juices flowing again. And I am very interested in new animals that we might find, and then I can kill out here.
Oh.
Do you make your batches from animals?
Some of
There
them.
are, yes, some ingredients. There's a secret ingredient too that I am unable to tell you about. I mean, as any entrepreneur of a consumable would do, not tell you the secret ingredient.
And then there's also the not so secret ingredient, and yet the most important, love. Yes, we put a lot of love and care into our products. I don't have to sell this to him.
We're
He's
here.
like
I'm
half in the bag.
I'm great.
This is a day
I
off.
love
Yeah,
it.
you don't
I will
worry.
have.
When we
You're
talk
on.
about it,
When you're
yeah.
on, you're on. Yes,
I know.
I understand.
I know.
I
Well,
understand.
He's part of the Hoocha Month Club.
Love begets love.
Well said.
Agos, obviously I've already bombarded you with the thought of learning everything I can from you. I have this book, and I'll sort of pull out this like pretty fat tome.
Ooh.
So I'm very fortunate to have, I guess, earned my way into possessing this book. I basically, a bard's mentor can share a wealth of knowledge, and then I get to add my own things to it, right? So I mean, first of all, every experience that I have, I get to add to this. This is the coolest thing. But there are some stories that I'd like to find, not really answers to, but just I'd like to pursue them a little bit. And the more I travel, the more likely I am to figure that out.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, the best way to learn about the world around you is to experience it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and that's kind of how the whole hooch business started. I spent a lot of time in various, inns and taverns, just talking to anybody who will talk to me. Sometimes I perform, but that's, kind of secondary. But that's sort of how we realized that this is like a really good side business that we can just add into the mix. And for my benefit, people tend to talk a little bit more once they've had some of our hooch. So it's a win-win for me.
For her.
Yes. And, you get the benefit of creating a piece of art in the form of a beverage that you can
yes.
Share with the world, right? Yes.
Mostly, yes, you are correct. But to be fair, I do enjoy the experimentation as well. What kind of ingredients do I add to make an effect? And I mean, look at Byron right now.
I know.
I mean,
he is just
this
having
is good
the time
stuff.
of his life.
Yeah,
He's simply glowing.
Egos,
Byron in
would
the
you
corner
like another?
licking his hammer.
No, Byron has like is like paying attention and nodding, like he's pretends that he's really understanding what you're talking about, but like a lot of the words that you like, it is just not. I mean, he gets it. Like you're passionate about what you do, but he's just like, all right, great, cool, and he's at this point puffing on his pipe and like kind of looking at the stars a little bit. Or no, sorry, the snow clouds, because it is slightly snowing. Yeah,
Slightly snowing, yes.
Lately.
And so will you?
Slightly snowing.
Will you be actually trying to keep watch, or?
I think so. I think I would definitely volunteer, as I only had a sip or two of Byron's cider, but I definitely think I have a little bit of guilt now that we've entirely intoxicated our new companions the very first night. And
Yeah, you always go strong on the first night.
first night.
Yeah, but like we have so much traveling to do, and like I don't know if Agos is going to be able to, keep up if he's also super hungover. So if we can let them, sleep as much as they need, that would probably be best.
Yep, I agree more. Let's let Byron just fall asleep, which I am pretty sure. I mean, if he was a Yonton Baron, he would be falling asleep right now. I guess they are
Yeah.
tougher than us in that respect, but we'll let him fall asleep on his own, and
Yeah.
we'll watch. Yes. Do you want first watch, or should I?
I mean, I don't mind. I'll stay up.
All right. Wake me in a couple of hours.
Sounds
Is
good.
there anything anyone wants to do before they go to bed, or will you just be...
I'll wait to do my weird stuff on my watch.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna excuse me. Byron's gonna set up his tent.
Did say she needed specific parts from animals, but she didn't say
That's true.
what kind of animal.
What kind of animals? Yeah.
Old coot liver. Oh, well, here.
Hey,
We
perfect.
just got started. I'm not throwing that at him yet.
All right, so the two, I just want to say that you're playing a game with a system where there literally is one of the classes is merchant, and none of you took it.
And yet, here we
And
are.
yet- And yet here you are
We're all
That
talking
goes to
about
show ya.
entrepreneurs. There's literally a merchant class. So those of you who are trying to stay awake, give me awareness checks. Those of you who had too much hooch, and I'll let you decide if you had too much hooch or not, give me a con check. But if you feel like you didn't abuse, then you don't need to.
That's another nat 1.
Ooh, the dragons are rolling
I know.
tonight.
Oh, yes. 80s.
Oh, I got a 1 too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
1981.
All right, nice. Anyone else making any other sort of rolls, or
It rolled a 10 on my constitution, which does make it.
yeah, that's good.
I did not make my con roll.
Do you feel that you drank excessively?
Not excessively, but probably slightly enough to like just put me out for the night.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. So, we'll start with you then. As you lay down and go to sleep, what are your final thoughts, or what is Agos thinking of, or what's going through Agos's mind? Or if there's nothing, because he's just like knocked out by the hooch, and that's fine also.
I would think that he is excited to be on a mission from the Jarl, to have been given the opportunity to travel with these adventurers. He is thinking that he's slightly concerned about, and then at that point he just falls asleep.
Nice. What about Byron after he's set up his tent?
Byron's contrary to appearances, holding his own. Like he's gonna go to sleep and sort of sit there and like set up a little kettle for the morning, not light it yet, and then sort of listening to the dying fire and the little patter of snow on the canvas of this tent. Just sort of think about like, and nobody can see this, but he frowned. Like his usually like very light, open like eyebrows, but he just, when he got to think about something, he just sort of thinks, and he's just kind of rolling over like this green knight. Who is this? What is this? What kind of fucking magic crazy is going on here? And like, am I strong enough to do this? And he stays up for a good portion of the night, just sort of thinking about stuff, and then falls asleep, kind of by himself.
Awesome. And who goes first as far as the watches?
80s.
All right. Do you want to do anything during your watch, or?
I'll definitely, obviously, pay attention to our sleeping friends who consumed a lot of alcohol, just to make sure that everyone's sleeping all right. And otherwise, I'll just sort of keep scanning the area, and think about how excited I am that I'm with this group and that this opportunity is here. And then I also feel sort of the deeper excitement of knowing that I might potentially be able to figure it out. I might be able to. I mean, it sort of spoke to me, so I might be able to figure this out. And
And as your thoughts go through that with your dragon that you rolled on your awareness, you become aware of very, very distant, very muffled, almost sounds like a song being carried on the wind. Right? And since you got a dragon, it seems to be coming from your camp.
That's interesting. Any other specific direction, or is it just the whole?
Well, the more you sit and kind of try to focus, and you realize the harder you try to hear and the harder you try to focus to get the less you can kind of grab. So you kind of just at some point stop trying too hard and you just kind of sit back and just kind of absorb it, and it seems to kind of increase. And when you kind of start paying attention again, you realize it seems to be coming from the direction of Agos.
Okay, good to know. Feeling that Adis would still, that excitement would sort of just tip into obsession a bit before she sort of reels it back and focuses on doing her job,
which goes really well. There's nothing else to disturb you during the evening. You do at some point, I guess, wake up Gudrid. And what are the last things you think of as you go to bed after you've woken her and she's taking the watch?
I think it'll be sort of wondering how I can even attempt to broach this subject with Agos. I don't even know what I would ask, or just thoughts of that. It takes a little bit for her to fall asleep, but eventually she will.
Awesome. And Gudrid, anything you would like to do during your watch? I know you rolled that 1 for awareness. We'll get to that. Anything you'd like to do, Sue?
Yeah, the first thing I'll do is check on Byron and Agos. I know that
like the dead.
Okay.
Do the dead snore? You know what I mean.
Well, yeah, rocks. And then once I'm sure, even though I'm not super worried, because I know that Adis is equally as mindful as I am about making sure our product is good and our compatriots are safe and all that, I will go out to just the edge of our camp, so I can still see everyone, hear everyone, smell everyone in Agos's case. And I will take out all of my piercings, unhip the nose, all the bones, just all the bone jewelry, everything, put it in a little pouch, put it in my hand, and then I lay down on the ground and I just feel the kind of the constructs of appearance go away. And it's sort of like almost a sensory deprivation experience. I do that for 5 minutes. And that's at the very beginning of my watch. So hopefully people are still awake. So if something does happen, they'll hear it too. Then I put everything back on, feeling refreshed, like I can handle being with a bunch of people 24/7. And I get up and I watch the rest of the night.
And it was in that moment that your dragon on the awareness roll sort of kicked in, where you had this period where you kind of went into like this nothing space where you didn't feel or register things around you. That moment when, like you said, you're hoping somebody else is around if ever there's, an issue. And then just upon coming out of it, as if like this momentary sort of, bathing into the void, so to speak, that sharpen all your senses, you wake up and you smell something on the wind, and you know without a doubt that there is a monster of some sort, very ancient, but at the same time fairly recently arrived in the area. And the reason you know this, and you know that this monster is in the area here, and the reason you know this is because you kind of feel like this monster has some sort of supernatural awareness of everything going on and around his domain or in a certain area. And for a moment you kind of, I wouldn't say you connect with him, but you feel him, you feel his presence feeling you out, and he is aware of you and he knows you're coming, and you are so acutely aware because you've just been in that deprivation chamber, like you said, that you feel him reaching out and kind of realizing that you're there, and you know that there's someone just up ahead, but you also get the feeling that this is a strange kind of monster, one that's not been seen in these parts for a while, but that is not necessarily just out to kill, that there may be more to it than that. And you also sense that there is something precious that he's guarding. And just before you realize that he's about to realize that you're sensing him, like you kind of snap out of it. But so you know that somewhere ahead this lies.
Wow. Okay. Somewhere ahead. Not any more specific, like
you don't feel there's a danger tonight.
Okay. Okay. Well, I will tell everyone in the morning. And I just stand guard over my people until the sun comes up.
Enjoying the silence and the
Yes.
solitude. Absolutely. All right. The rest of the night goes by fine. It does pick up snowing, so that in the morning when you wake up, there's a fresh layer of snow everywhere. But not to the point where it's problematic. You will wake up, have a little bit of breakfast. You can scratch off another ration off your thing. It'll be for the whole day, and it'll keep you going through the day. Do you mention it then at breakfast, what you sense as everyone's getting ready?
Yep. Okay. So last night as long as I've got everyone together, I sensed a monster ahead. I didn't sense any danger. That's why I didn't wake anyone up last night. It's far enough ahead. It is protecting something. I don't think it necessarily wants to kill. But I mean, the sense is if it is protecting something and we stumble into it, I don't know. I want you guys to know that that is on the road ahead.
Is it in our way?
It is, I think, on our way. I didn't get a definite location, but it's out there. I think we just need to be careful. I will be on high alert. I will not be drinking again. I would recommend everyone else cut back. Last night was a big night, I understand, but we need to cut back a little to have our wits about us as we face this.
That's not intimidating. Jeez. Do we need
You're
to...
advocating, you're telling us to show restraint around your delicious product.
Yes.
I think she's trying to say that there's something dangerous up ahead, and we should all, keep our heads on a swivel so that we can detect it before it eats us.
We did overindulge just a bit last night, and that's fine. But if that monster was closer and attacked us last night, I don't know what would have happened to us.
Well, I might have slept right through it, to be quite honest with you.
You might have, yes.
Woken up inside of a monster. That's a new experience for you, even, I imagine.
Indeed.
I can go first.
Sorry, I was going to say, are there any preparations or anything that you want to do in preparation for possibly encountering something? Or how do you want to proceed for the rest of the day?
Well, there's fresh snow on the ground. I imagine we could keep an eye out for strange tracks of monstrous creatures. Yes. Our friend Gudrid knows many of the flora and the faunas, so to speak, of the area. And, should be able to identify if there's something strange afoot. Ha! Get it? Afoot. Tracks.
A foot of snow.
I think it's only about 8 inches.
Yeah. Well,
I think, Gudrid, if you don't think that it's like an immediate danger, maybe we shouldn't, go full arms. Just maybe if we're calm, it will be calm. Is that how things work? You know way more about
Sometimes,
animals than me.
Sometimes playing dead is the best way to get out of a situation. I don't know that that's the right thing to do here.
I've heard that it works for bears.
So we march on, and then if we see a monster, we fall over and pretend that we're dead.
That is not what I'm suggesting.
If it's a bear, perhaps.
If it's a bear.
It seemed smart. It seemed smart, right?
There was definitely a sentience. There was definitely a sentience there.
Huh.
All right.
Not all encounters with the denizens of the wild must end in some sort of a mortal conflict. I imagine that if as you say, Gudrid, that it has some level of sentience and is only looking to protect its own, well, there might be a way to reason with these things. I hesitate to jump into battle mode right off the bat. We could perhaps talk our way out of it.
It certainly seems possible. I do have one thing I can try, though. I'd like to activate one of my heroic abilities.
Yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Monster Hunter.
Monster
Ooh.
Hunter. So the way it works in Dragonbane, instead of characters having class powers and so on and so forth, they get heroic abilities, and they get to choose pretty much whatever heroic abilities they want. Throughout the book, anyone can pick pretty much anything they want and make their character out of those heroic abilities. So you have one that is called Monster Hunter. Can you tell us what it does?
At a crossroads of some kind, you can activate this ability to learn the direction of the most dangerous enemies. I don't know if it's an enemy. I don't know if it works like that, but at least that could give us an idea today.
Yeah, it would be fine. So you have to spend 3 willpower points in order to activate it, and you are at kind of a crossroads because there's a river there and there's like a little bridge that fords it.
Right.
So you spend your willpower points and activate it. And so explain to us what do the others see as you make use of this heroic ability?
I will get down to the ground, pretty much just flatten myself on the ground. I've got this tiny little bone dagger, but it's like ornamental. And I'm just kind of like using it to point. And it's just kind of like a divining rod almost. And just quiet. It looks weird, but that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so you don't really need to make any rolls for it to work. I'm going to ask you to make a B-slow roll, because if you get a really good B-slow roll, I'll give you extra information on top of that.
Let me see, I would like to also activate my ancestral skinning knife for an auto success on beast lore. I can do that once a day.
Nice.
And I've just used it for the day.
Nice. All right, so you call upon the power of your ancestral knife, and you fill the knowledge of all the beasts that it has skinned and cut and pierced throughout the years just sort of flood through you. One, you know that about half a day's ride ahead of you, you will come to a bridge spanning a wide body of water, a wide river, and that is where you will encounter this creature. Furthermore, thanks to your beast-lore roll and your ancestral knife, you understand the nature of this beast is that it is a troll. Now, what you know of trolls is that there used to be many trolls in this area. In fact, Fomorian trolls are what the area just ahead of you is known for. It's called, well, it's the word I'm looking for. Is named after. It's called the Fomorian Bog because there used to be Fomorian trolls that lived there. They were extinct a long time ago, but for some odd reason, there is apparently one ahead of you. You know that trolls have this ability to really know what's going on within a certain area around their lair. You would know that it will certainly be guarding the way across, and with your beast lore also you know that while you could fight it and defeat it, there's also the possibility that you might be able to bargain your way. They tend to respond well to people who treat them nicely, as they usually feel themselves to be unjustly rejected by most people, unlike internet trolls.
I will share all that with the party except for the internet troll bit.
Because they'd be like, "What the fuck is the internet?
What is that?
What the fuck is the internet?" All right,
Where
so
are you from?
you will mount up after hearing this information and ride out, and most of the day you are in this heavily snowed in sort of wooded forest, but then as you approach the Fomorian Bog, the snow starts to go away, and even though it's still always kind of snowing a little bit, which is very odd, you eventually enter the Fomorian Bog area, which is more of a dried out swamp area. It used to be very swampy, but it has become very dried out, which leads to this weird sort of area where there's like these dips of sand, but then there's like these little sort of hills of grass and little ugly trees that are sort of standing on top of them. As you approach and sort of come out of the thickest part of the Fomorian Grove, you look ahead, and as soon as you come out, you see it. You see Yggdrasil, this enormous tree that reaches up before you, and it's so big that right now you can barely see the top parts of it. It's just this fog and this mist, and you just see this giant tree with these huge roots that just takes up the entirety of the horizon in front of you. And even though it looks like it's a giant, you know there's still like a good day and a half of travel to get to it. That's how big this thing is. Thank you very much for the raid. Lord Gazumba, thank you so much, Jay, for coming in, dropping in on us just as we're approaching Yggdrasil, the big tree. We certainly appreciate the raid. Thank you so much. And so as you see this tree, you look down, and just below it, you see the river that circles the main area in the north, the island, so to speak, where Yggdrasil grows. And there is this wooden bridge, this very long wooden bridge that sort of spans it. And as you're sort of just exiting the bog and approach and see this, you know that's where the troll is. That is where he's going to be hiding for sure. So you can just continue. You can stop at the edge of the bog, etc., and search yourselves out. Or what do you want to do? You know that to get across, you're going to need to cross that bridge. At this point, to go around would mean several days of travel, so that you could get into the Sunfields and then get to the bridge there, and who knows what might happen. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to pause here, or do you want to just say, well, we know what's there. Let's go and see what happens.
What do you think we should do, Gudrid? Do we reason with the creature?
That is up to us. The troll is a very dangerous creature. I've never fought one before.
Well,
I don't honestly think I've ever seen one before.
They've been gone for quite a while, yeah.
I do have these what are they? Were they coins? The Jarl's favor, Bleak.
Yeah.
I have these tokens of promise of the Jarl's favor. We could maybe buy our way across with that. I feel like it would be beneficial not to engage in combat if we can avoid it.
Oh.
I think that sounds good.
I think that's very smart. Byron,
Byron?
want to?
I mean, I know that like, listen, I'm not very good at making plans, but I know that other people that are good at making plans, it never goes like how they plan it to go.
That's a good point.
So I am here for you all.
Look, I'm just an old fool.
He'll like pat the like massive like head of the hammer on its back.
I'm just an old fool, but perhaps, Byron, if you are interested in contesting, perhaps you could challenge the troll to a friendly test of strength. And well, if we win, we pass. If we lose, we buy our way with the Jarl's favor. It's could give us an opportunity.
You would put me as the first option and not the coins that you.
Well, we could save the coin.
Like you're gambling with my abilities, and that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to express my sincere faith in all of your abilities.
I mean, I think if we just go respectfully and we have the coins, as an option, and then I guess if that doesn't work, then yeah, we can see about a challenge of some kind.
We can always sweeten the pot. We do have several other types of our product on us.
But what if it does really bad things to trolls?
Well, then he'll be easier to kill.
What if so should we just walk across and say very loudly we mean no? Like what? We just march and announce our
I can hear you,
Like I was saying.
Shouldn't have said the kill part.
We're just planning over here. Nothing to be worried about.
I can see that.
Are you friendly or
Please do
full?
come forward and find out.
Well, I guess there we go.
I'll go forward.
I've been so lonely.
Maybe they just want someone to talk to.
I'd imagine so. My friend tells me there aren't many trolls anymore.
Come closer. Come closer. I can hardly smell you where you are.
Oh gosh.
Note to self: trolls have good hearing.
Yeah. Jeez. We're just passing through.
Approach. As you travel closer, you see coming out from under the bridge this huge greenish hand with bangles and bits of rings and all sorts of stuff and a little bit of fur that sort of climbs out. And then the setter hand comes up and it's got this huge hammer in it, and conk, it comes up under the bridge. And slowly this greenish creature that looks like it's almost part of the swamp as it's extricating itself from underneath the bridge. And you're tall, you're all Jotun Barons and Times, you're all 9-10 feet tall. This thing is your equal. It's up there also 10-11ish feet tall, but it's kind of all hunched over and whatnot as it crawls out from beneath it's the bridge and stands in front of you. And you thought Ego smelled bad. This thing smells old, musty, ancient. It's got a fish that's attached to its belt. He's got like a fishing pole on his back, and there's this fish that's attached to its belt. Looks like it's been there maybe a couple days. It's starting to smell a little bit off. It comes up, it's got little bits of bones and different things in its beard, and it kind of crawls out and then kind of crouches in front of you and goes, "It's been a while since I've had the visit of such delicious-looking morsels. Gather round, don't be shy."
What's your name?
Oh, names are dangerous things. Names have power, but you can call me Mr. Touchrick.
Mr. Tretrick, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Meet.
Well, we're just passing through.
I can see that.
Yeah.
You're hoping to pass through, is what it is. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, tell me then. I'm certain you understand how this works. I am a troll after all, and here is a bridge. And if you should want to come across this little bridge, which is mine, then of course you must pay the troll.
Byron just takes like a second and then
Good sense of humor on that one. I like funny people. They always taste more tender.
What types of things are required in payment for the troll toll?
Well, I'm a very simple troll. I'm not complicated at all. Like the little things in life, the simple things in life. And you happen to catch me on a very good day. I'm feeling very generous today. Normally a group of your size, I would say, it would cost you, say, 4 memories. But I'm in a good mood, as I said, and I'm willing to let you through for, let's call it an even 3. Wait, 3 is not even. 1, 2.
2 is even. Or perhaps
yes,
0.
But 2 is
0
boring.
Is the most even.
We'll say 3. 3. How about that? 3 of your most precious memories to keep me warm in this long winter that is coming our way.
I mean, it seems quite reasonable. 3 memories.
Well,
can they all be from one person?
I care not.
What I've learned, I play music, is that
I hate music.
You don't like music?
Dastardly noise. It hurts my ears.
Oh, maybe you just haven't found music that you like yet.
I highly doubt that.
My friend here is a very gifted poet.
Well, she should feel free to start saying poetry, and perhaps I'll eat her last.
Wait a minute. Did you say eat?
He did.
Yes. What do you think this is about? Do you think I do this for sport? I am hungry. The land around you can see, is very bare. Not a lot to eat anymore. The animals are all gone. This winter that is coming is going to make it even worse. It's going to be very difficult. I need to make some stores.
Tell me, I had heard a rumor of the Fomorian trolls having all but gone extinct, yet you persist. Are there more of you about, or is it just you, lonely by yourself, hiding under a bridge, waylaying travelers to eat them? It seems
Well, when you
sad.
put it like that, Fomorian trolls, there used to be many Fomorian trolls. In fact, this entire area, as far as you could see, used to be my brethren, but they've all gone now. They've all been killed by the Jotun.
Terrible.
I am not a
guess-
Fomorian, however. I'm alone, yes. Very alone.
Well, you're not
Very
alone right now.
lonely. No,
we're
I'm not.
here. We're here with you right now, and well, I mean, it's quite nice speaking with you. You're a great conversationalist. I mean, yes, right? Everybody, great
Yeah.
conversationalist.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
just
direct
saying
with
that so I won't eat you.
Well, partially, yes. I mean, none of us want to be eaten per se.
I imagine it's not very pleasant. No.
No, it's not.
Well-
But we understand you're hungry, so
Well, you look very old and dry. I don't think I would eat you anyways.
no, of course.
You're a
Are you-
little.
Are you thirsty?
I'm maybe.
We have a very fantastic small batch of just an incredible beverage that you should perhaps try. I know it's not food, but we could give you some.
Does it taste
some-
like watermelon? I hate fucking watermelon.
No, it does not. This is it's a little bit smoky. It has like a sort of like a caramely undertone.
PT? Would you say it's PT?
Up front, yes, absolutely. And then sort of then the
Make
smoke
it
comes
eat.
through, and then it ends with just a hint of a sweetness.
And
It's
to be
very well
fair, many
balanced.
call it a meal.
That's true. That is true.
Well, I would call you a meal, so
Hmm.
perhaps you could show me this. What do you call it?
I mean, it's Kettleheim 1 hooch. Number 1 hooch in Kettleheim. Gudrid,
Are there many hooches in Kettleheim?
Not of this caliber.
no,
At least one.
Is that fair?
Mm.
we're a small craft distillery. We like to experiment with different, kind of unique flavors and ingredients. But that's kind of what makes our product special.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You know what? The product speaks for itself. Here, should we try this one?
Yeah. Here.
All right, lucky
It's
number
such
7.
a small container. Or am I supposed to just sip it?
Honestly,
No.
whatever
You
feels
are
best.
yes, you are supposed to.
it's a
They'd like it
throwback.
if you.
Okay.
Yes, you throw it back. You just drink it all at once. Absolutely.
Yeah. You let it sit in your mouth for just a moment, though. You'll really be able to taste all those notes I mentioned.
And you
It's-
gag as he comes close to you, and the smell of rotting fish and old earth and dying vegetation and all just wafts over you, and you can see his rotting teeth, and you're pretty sure that's a finger in his beard. You don't want to look too closely, but it looks like a little bit of a finger, maybe or something. And he approaches, warts on his nose and everything. And he reaches with his black clawed fingers and he takes your. Is this a trick? It better not be a trick.
No, honestly, it's really good. I mean, afterwards, if you want to eat us, we can talk about that. But this is an offering.
If it's a trick, I'll eat you first without killing you.
Fair.
I'll start by the bottom.
Mhm.
I love toes.
Also, this is a good variety that we did offer this troll.
That
Yeah.
cinnamon.
Lucky number 7.
You know, we don't put cinnamon in it, but somehow the flavor just sort of, you know, peeks in just a little bit.
You know what I think this would be good for?
Hmm.
A marinade.
That is actually a very good idea. Perhaps some lamb. Yes, that's. And I just sort
Is
of like
the sampler size?
Well, yes, like we said, we're traveling. We don't really carry, you know, very large quantities, but
Throws a jar of his name. What else you got?
I have a home blend that I don't make. I just
Oh,
sort of mix
yes.
it together. You're welcome to try it.
it's really good. You know, I tried it for the first time last night, and
Mm,
honestly, it's different than what we make.
I'll be the judge of that. What is it? What is this? Give it. What is this?
It's made from apples. You ever
It's
had
not
an
one of those
apple?
where you put all the apples in the barrels and then you step in there barefoot to crush them, is it?
No, I don't use, not my feet personally, no.
Okay. Too bad.
Bleak, I guess I have a question as like
That's creepy.
I think Byron is itching to take this guy's legs off because I don't know. I guess I don't know how Byron doesn't know how well this is going.
You're in the middle of a swamp getting a troll sauced. I mean, you know, it's going how it's going.
Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna very like I am. Byron is very cognizant of like how quickly he can get his hammer out to swing at his legs.
Okay.
Like, but I'm not doing it yet.
So he'll uncap that one and he'll, you know, sip it in one shot. That's not bad. A little more potent. A little more potent, but not as elegant as the first one. The first one was very elegant. You could tell the different flavors as it washed over your tongue.
Yeah, we really appreciate feedback because, you know, there are some that people really love and some that they don't. And
Yeah,
this
it's
is
just like
helpful.
when you're eating a Jotun or a Titan, you can tell the difference on the back of your tongue. You're like, oh, this is Titan meat, it's chewy. Oh, this is a Jotun
Yeah.
meat. Yes. And yeah. That first one had like full body. I would say it's very full body.
Yeah, and I bet you like that, huh?
Oh,
You know, full
I
body.
like him plump.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. You got any more? Because we're just getting this party started.
I pull out the hallucinogenic variety number 3.
We actually
How
had
about you
some
try
of
this
this one last night. They can vouch for it.
It's very good. It will get you exactly where you want to go.
They're still alive. How good can it be?
Well, I mean, only because we had to stop them. But yeah,
That is. I was told that you're supposed to drink this one very fast. The faster that you drink it, the better it tastes.
All right, but after this, we're going to talk memories, all right?
yeah,
Because I don't want to forget. So you have to remind me.
Oh.
We're going to talk memories, right?
yeah.
I will, on my honor as a knight.
Are you a knight? Oh, fuck, metal bits. Fuck, those are RT. You got to get the can opener. It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Scald. He just slowly sinks down, sitting. And he's got a kick. Kind of reminds me of my mama. So just about like a little troll baby, and she would take me to her breast, and I would suckle, and it would taste just like this. Bob, where are you? I'm so lonely, Mom.
I think perhaps this is where we take our leave.
No, please don't go.
Well, I mean, we'll be back. We're going to come back this way when we come through.
Yeah.
We promise to stop and converse and catch up. But we do have an important journey. And we appreciate, we appreciate the time we've spent with you.
We might even bring you a souvenir to remember us by.
Yes.
I will hand out. I will offer a biscuit.
Thanks. He looks at you. Did I get a hug?
Oh,
Yes. I'll look at everybody else in the party and say, "I got this," and I will give a big troll
And
hug.
like he squeezes you, and like if it was, I go, he'd be dead. He's like, I like you. You're a good guy. You know, you act all straight at the beginning, and that armor you wear, is that like to
Let it
protect
out.
yourself from people? Because I feel that way sometimes. Like I should, like I wear these layers, right? Because people look at me and all they see is this ugly troll, and they're like, the troll
You're
lives on
not
our bridge.
ugly. You're not ugly.
let's go.
And then I'm like, I'm a person inside, and I know I put on airs, and as you're leaving, he's still I put on airs, and I kind of pretend I'm tough and all, but I'm really just a big saw. I just want people to be friendly and hang out, and
You're
say-
wonderful. We'll see you
bit-
when we come back.
A bit of if you want people to be friendly and hang out,
Yeah.
you should keep them around for more than one meal.
Maybe have dinner with someone as opposed to making them dinner. That's really how you develop relationships. Maybe we could share a meal sometime,
In
You're a
1
good
week.
egg. Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. I know what you.
And then we move.
And then we go.
Go.
I'm gonna actually like try to lower this troll gently into the snow.
No problem. You manage. And I'm just gonna say this like this. Do you take a peek under the bridge? You know that he was guarding something, or do you just skedaddle?
He's passed out drunk. Let's check it out. There's something that was very important to him down there.
Don't touch it if we can avoid touching it. I don't want to, sully our good relationship.
We are going to have to go by here again.
Yeah.
When you look under the bridge, you can see his little home there. It's got a little sofa. It's got a little table, some doilies, a nice little cabinet. He's got like a little fire pit going.
Did you say doilies?
Yeah, he's got some he knits. The fuck do you think he does all day waiting under the bridge?
Oh my god.
Knits.
After.
And there, it looks like he maybe used it as a footstool, but there's like this waterlogged chest that's just kind of embedded in the mud there.
Oh, this is too tempting, isn't it? Is it?
Well, we could look inside and
What if it's got a trap or something on it? What if he's got one of his gross hairs over the side of it to see if anyone opens it?
well, then one
We're
of us
not going
dies.
to be here when he wakes up.
Okay, let's open it. I don't know
You're gonna
why I'm
chase us.
arguing the opposite. Let's open it.
You seemed like this is your idea, and you got us here for a treasure, and then
Oh hell! And our Agos will just walk up and open the thing.
So, as the explosion from the
Is it the noodle guy again?
the fucking noodle guy?
Fucking
No.
noodle guy.
I forgot to mention that around this fire pit, there's like two little chairs, and there's like two skeletons kind of arranged on it, and
Oh
one
no.
of them's got like a little
forgot to
hat.
do that.
saddest.
Uh-huh.
Um, while they're looking, 80s is writing just a little note that says, thank you so much for your company today. We hope to see you soon.
Okay, he can't read, but that's a very nice gesture.
Well, yeah.
And thank you
find-
for the contents of your chest.
You find enough fish around here to make one ration out of it if ever you want to. Like, that's fine. It's up to you. Inside the
No.
footlocker, you find the following. Tell me if you take any of it or whatnot. There's a dented shield that looks like a little bit old. There's a stack of decent furs. There's a broken lyre. There are 3 bone dice. There are 2 candles, one of which has burned about halfway down. There are 2 little jars of what appear to be very herby concoctions of some sort. And there is a rather giant, shiny acorn that feels a little weird when you touch it.
I'm going to use detect magic to see if any of this is magic, or excuse me, sense magic.
The acorn, the herbal potion thingamabobbers, and the broken lyre.
Look, if we take these and don't use them, we can always give them back.
We can offer them as, trade for our passage.
Oh, I don't know if that'll work. He's thick, but
What if I take his hammer?
Do we want to make a friend of this creature or an enemy?
I certainly don't want him as an enemy.
It doesn't matter to me one way or the other, but since there's only one of them left, I don't really want to kill it. I mean...
Well then, it's settled. We'll just take the acorn,
If he...
the concoctions, and the mirror, and we'll leave the rest.
We are going to have to fight him on the way back, I suspect.
Can I? What is his hammer like? Is it an upgrade of my own, or is it gross
No.
and nasty? And
Yeah, it's just
All
like,
right.
it's, a giant femur with a rock in it.
Oh,
Agos is going to grab the acorn first. How big is this
Okay.
acorn?
It's like,
Yeah,
and you
that's
grab it,
important.
and the moment you touch it, this is important. This is something. You don't know what it's related to, but it's something.
Well, hold on to this. Somebody grab those 2 concoctions. They're magical as fuck. And that mirror there as well. Let's go.
Gudrid is going to look at the bone dice just because it's bone and she's interested, but unless
They're,
it's super cool, she's going to leave it.
They're kind of old, regular, made out of bone with runes scratched into them. They're nothing to write on, but they're like
Okay.
antiques.
I'll leave them.
Can
them.
I don't want to touch it yet, but can I look at the you said it was like a lyre?
Lyre, yeah. Sorry, I said lyre,
Yeah.
but yeah, lyre. Yeah.
I have one of my own. So can I tell? I mean, I know that Ego said it was magical, but is there anything very obviously unique about it?
The thing that stands out, it looks pretty bland, to be honest. But when you do pick it up, you do feel there's a certain power in it, but it's definitely broken and would require a craftsman or an artisan of some sorts to fix it up.
I'm really hesitant to take things from this troll, but this
You
is
could
really
leave something in
interesting.
exchange. I mean, these things obviously don't mean anything to him. They're just shinies he's collected. He's probably interested in food and things of that nature.
I mean, I have marbles. I have a pouch full of marbles.
Perfect.
That's great. I think that's great. He can have my pouch full of marbles.
Anyone else leave anything else?
you see Byron reach and take one careful biscuit and look at it longingly and set it down inside of the chest, and then take one of these really fancy furs and just put it over his shoulders,
Nice.
like sort of.
Very nice.
It suits you.
It does.
It's thank you. I think
All
so
right.
as well.
So the potions each contain 2 doses of healing, and they heal 2d6 hit points. So you can have that on you if you want. There's 2 of them. They are herbal. Taste very medicine-y. I don't know if you've ever had Lambert cough syrup, but that's exactly what it tastes like. And with that, you cross the bridge and find your way headed towards Yggdrasil. And as the giant tree looms ever closer to you, and you know that by morning time you will very likely finally reach the core of it, you start already seeing some of its roots already kind of sticking out of the earth, even this far away from it. This thing is ginormous, and you were filled with this sense of portent and of this weight, just the agelessness and the significance of this tree just sort of weighing down on you at this point that you're so close to it. And what started out as perhaps just kind of a weird little thing is suddenly feels like it's so much more than that. But we're not going to find out until later next week when we return.
Yeah.
For game 2 of Winter Thrice. That's the French in me coming out. Thank you. You guys were amazing. Thank you so much. Excellent work. I so look forward to digging back to it.
Shout out to the Raiders who joined us. Damn, guys. Thank you so much.
Phoenix Iwaki, Lords and Ladies of Fate, Lord Gazumba. Did I miss anyone?
You nailed it.
Amazing raid sauce. And thank you to everyone who stuck around watching us. Trial run this Dragonbane system and get into the Shadesong again. And I would not in any way, shape, or form be able to do this without my amazing players. So let's hear from them once more. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what's going on, where people can find you. Please, we'll start with the Scoos, because the Scoos brings the news.
Yo, I'm Scoozy. You can call me Scoozy or Scoos. You can find me most often hanging out in the Superior Adventures Guild Discord. Just hanging out. I am enjoying this new iteration of the Shadesong Saga from its inception in season 2, which is pretty fun. And oh my god, these players are fucking excellent. Holy crap.
We only offer the best here, man. Only the best. Thank you so much, Goose. Always an absolute pleasure to have you in these things. The Grand Maestro himself, Captain Dave. What's up, Dave?
Hello. Hi, everybody. Me, I'm Dave. I play games, produce games, and run games here on Guild Superior, and I am just thrilled to be playing in Shadesong again, and I'm excited to be playing with Shelly again. We've played in a couple of games together. Scoos, I'm super jazzed to be in a game with you, and Beth. I'm fanboying right now because you rallied so hard on Monday with your inaugural run on Guild Superior. I'm so stoked for you. It was so good. I'm excited to see that coming back up next Monday. Thank you, Bleak, for getting us back, bringing Shadesong Season 2 back. I'm very excited to be here and just be part of it. So thank you very much.
Cool. Yes, Beth, you certainly deserve a nice ball of Kettleheim 1.
Oh, no. I don't know if that's a reward or a punishment.
I don't know.
Sounds like
that troll's going to have nice memories of it.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about yourself, Beth.
Yeah, I'm Beth. You can find me on the social medias at Beth Masco. And you can find me here coming up on Monday for the second and final episode of the Woodland Rescue. It's a Humblewood tale. It's super fun. The players that are playing in it are super fun. You might even recognize one of them from this very screen. Bleak, who is playing a very fun character, if I do say so myself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's really great. Thank you for letting me play in the very brand new second season of Shadesong. This is going to be a lot of fun. Also, sorry for taking your beautiful, deep story and just pouring a bunch of alcohol on it today.
These things happen. It's all right. We're open for business. The Norse stories are full of drinking and ribaldry and all that, so it's all good. It's all part of it. A lot of humor also, which what a lot of people don't realize. tonight was totally in line with these stories when you see Thor dressed up as, you know, a woman eating all of the giants' wedding food. The kind of stories we got.
Nice.
Thanks so much, Beth, for being here. I look forward to Monday also to being back in your game.
Yeah.
And finally, the lady who laminates all her maps,
Soon laminates.
Shelly. Hi, Shelly.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, yeah.
I'm Shelly, and you can find me on Twitter at The Real Flea Monkey. There's not a lot going on there, but there is a link to find where I do doodles and other stuff. So you can go there. I just also would like to thank you for an awesome, awesome world that I get to be in again. I have to tell you, I was watching the very last episode of the last season, and when Clothgilda showed up, I made this weird prehistoric bird noise that scared my dog because I was so excited. So thanks for making this cool world and making me make bird noises. I'm glad to be here.
Hey, you know, the women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you great for making them do weird bird noises. I don't know. It's never happened to me before. Do you have like... Anyways.
No, it's all from here.
All from here. Very
from
nice.
From the diaphragm.
From the diaphragm. Breathe, breathe. Thank you so much, all of you. We're Guild Superior. We got tons of stuff going on. We have on Sunday. Is your charity thing this weekend, Dave, or next weekend? It's next weekend, eh?
It's a couple weeks away.
All right, so we'll bring that back up on Sunday. We have a new 5-part Vaesen game that I'm GMing that's starting up with another batch of excellent players. Vaesen I said it'll be on Sunday at 7 Eastern, 6 CT, 7 Eastern. On Monday, we're going back to Humblewood on Monday Night Mayhem, produced by Miko and GM'd by the wonderful Beth Matsko. On Tuesday, we got Dr. Dave and his ongoing Greyhawk campaign, which I'm in also, where we're trying to avoid running into more gnolls because freaking gnolls, they're everywhere. And on Wednesday, we go back for, I think it's the penultimate episode of Dungeon Mr. Ty's New of Arden, which was on last night. It was excellent, very fun, and we're so happy to have Dungeon Mr. Ty bringing his thing over here, doing his thing with us. New of Arden, that's on next Wednesday. And we'll be right back here next Thursday. More Shadesong Winter Thrice Part 2. Thank you so much to Andy, my producer. Thanks to all the raiders. We're going to go ahead and raid into a good friend of ours, Darling Creepshow. Stick around, give Darling some love. Good old Guild Superior style, and catch y'all next week or Sunday or sometime along the way. Ciao.